later, Jimmy Fallon welcomes Gigi Hadid, NBC Tonight.
You are Commander Rossi on the USS Montana. And that is my father.
Multiple surface contacts.
How to intercept course.
I left into the middle of a war.
We are in the most dangerous waters on Earth.
Are we sinking? You're about to get your men killed. This is insane!
Quantum Leap, next Monday.
On our broadcast tonight, a body found today in a Tomahawk area lake. We'll hear how it started with a missing persons report. Plus, officers investigating other officers. We'll hear about 2 cops snowmobiling drunk in Eagle River. And a wheelchair-bound man is raising awareness about clearing the sidewalks of snow. Your local news starts right now.
News Watch 12 with Dan Hagan and Conrad Sapinski.
Welcome to News Watch 12 at 10. I'm Dan Hagan. This morning, a missing snowmobiler was reported. Later in the afternoon, his body was pulled from a Tomahawk area lake. Today around 11 a.m., the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office received a report that a 71-year-old man had not been heard from or seen since Friday night. The caller indicated the man was most likely last seen in the Tomahawk area on his snowmobile. An investigation brought officers to an open section of water on Somo Lake right next to Tomahawk with snowmobile tracks leading into it. From there, emergency responders pulled out the body. The incident is under investigation, and more information will be released at a later date, according to the department. Some Wausau area parents and community members are pushing back against a plan to close some schools in the Wausau School District. Earlier this month, the Wausau School Board approved a plan to restructure grades 5 through 12 in the district, but this would include closing 5 elementary schools. A growing petition calls on the school board to stop the plan and hold an advisory referendum on the matter. In the first 72 hours, over 1,200 signatures have been collected so far on change.org to stop the restructuring plan. The school district of Three Lakes is looking to fill a vacancy on their school board. The board will appoint a qualified candidate. Applications can be found on the Three Lakes School website. They are due by March 14th. Interested persons must live in the district. Interviews for the open position will be held at the regular board meeting on March 15th at 6 p.m. Now let's head over to our weather center where meteorologist Conrad Sapinski is standing by. Conrad, a snowy day out there throughout the Northwoods.
Yes, absolutely, Dan. We officially have 3.6 inches of snow so far. We do still have some snow showers in the area. Most of this is very light and really getting under the radar. But the heavier stuff, those darker blue colors, are long gone. Now it is crossing Lake Michigan and going into the state of Michigan at the moment. Visibilities are still a bit low, and that's how we know there is still some snow falling in the region. Merrill has less than 2-mile visibility. Medford, same story. Rhinelander, we're coming in at around 7 to 8 miles of visibility, so we do still have some snow showers. Arbor Vitae and Tomahawk have low visibilities, and that snow is going to continue to push east. So within the next several hours, everything will start to clear out. Temperatures earlier today were below freezing, so whatever did fall did stick around here. Tomahawk, though, and south, temperatures were slightly above freezing, so they had a little bit more freezing rain, into some rain, and then, of course, some snow on the back end. Now temperatures are cooling off. We're back into those mid-20s. A little bit south of us, we're looking at temperatures still hovering close to that 30-degree mark. Tonight, though, temperatures will continue to cool off well above average and hovering in those lower 20s. Dan?
In the early hours this morning, a snowmobiler struck a tree and died in Vilas County. Vilas County 911 Center received a call of a snowmobile accident in the town of Plum Lake at around 1 a.m. Officers at the scene identified this snowmobile had went off the marked trail on Plum Lake itself and struck a tree on the shoreline. Life-saving efforts were unsuccessful, and the driver was pronounced dead at the crash site. He was a 55-year-old male from Illinois. This comes after another deadly crash happened in Oneida County on Friday. Now, the total of snowmobile fatalities in Wisconsin has reached 13 for this season. That includes 6 in Vilas County and 3 in Oneida County. Two Racine County law enforcement officers are under investigation after both were cited on suspicion of drunken snowmobiling in northern Wisconsin. Racine County Sheriff's Lieutenant Sean Barker and Racine Police Investigator Todd Lauer were arrested February 11th in Eagle River. According to a police report, Barker refused to submit to a breathalyzer test, but Lauer was found to have a .14 blood alcohol content, nearly double the legal limit. The report also states that both Barker and Lauer flashed their police credentials before either was asked for identification. Both were handcuffed and placed in squad cars. They are now being investigated within their departments. If found guilty on a criminal level, each could face fines of several hundreds of dollars. And this reporting comes from Lake Geneva News. Earlier this month, Team USA competed in Athens, Greece at the 9th Pancration World Championships, and some local athletes and an Eagle River coach are coming home with gold medals. Pancration combines both wrestling and boxing. Team USA won the tournament with 7 teammates from the upper Midwest, plus head coach Dave Sixel from Eagle River. Every member of the team won a medal.
To give the opportunity that I had, and to see the faces of these young competitors, that really achieved to become world champions.
Sixel says that the team far surpassed his expectations. He was happy to see the competition run so smoothly.
It was a long days of competition, no injuries, and we were very blessed, that we had a great team, great staff members, my referees, to my parents that came along, everybody. We just clicked. Everybody was so impressed with our team.
The medal count was 30 gold, 11 silver, and 9 bronze. Sixel from Eagle River says for that it's historic, especially for a team made up of people from these small towns up north. Days are getting longer as we approach spring, and one local organization is taking advantage of that by adding springtime-themed classes to their sustainable living program. Trees for Tomorrow in Eagle River is inviting people of all ages to learn more about the world around you. Their sustainable living program is in its 3rd year. One of the most popular classes is birdwatching, where people have the opportunity to learn bird identification from local expert Frank Schroyer. Beth Heft helps coordinate educational opportunities for Trees for Tomorrow, and she explains what people can expect from this popular class.
Different birds, the types of habitats they like to live in, and give a little lecture inside, and then we're going to head to the field, put Frank to the test, use our birding guides, some binoculars, and go see what types of birds we can find on the Franklin Lake Trail.
There is also a maple syrup making class at Trees for Tomorrow. Todd Starling will be there to take people through the entire process.
You will gain all the knowledge to go home and make your own maple syrup in your backyard, and as well take home a kit of 3 collection sacks to start collecting syrup at home.
And staying true to their name, Trees for Tomorrow has tree seedlings for sale as well. These seedlings come with instructions to plant your tree for people to enjoy tomorrow and in the future. A list of all community education opportunities is available on the Trees for Tomorrow website. Gaining access to healthy and affordable food is a challenge for a lot of people in the Northwoods. A local nonprofit, Feed Our Rural Kids, is hoping to make it easier for folks to stay fed. Their endowment program just reached a fundraising milestone, and it's already paying off. Newswatch tells Mohammed Abdul Kawi has more.
We're very lucky to be in a community that has the ability to support nonprofit organizations like Fork in our long-term mission, like the endowment.
2 years ago, Fork came up with the goal to raise $1 million.
We expanded that mission to include providing financial support to all organizations whose mission it is, like Fork, to feed children within our area.
Recently, the nonprofit reached the halfway mark of $500,000. Perry Pokrant says because of the milestone, 1,000 more meals will be available at the Vilas Food Pantry.
We are going to be distributing 5 extra meals per child, per family during the month of March. The goal of that distribution from our endowment is to work with the pantry to attract and invite more families to partake in this kind of support.
Jackie Coughlin believes these meals will make a difference for families that need it.
For some of us, we think it's extra, but when we see the people who need it, it's a need, it's not something that's extra.
Without the help of the endowment fundraising, distributions like this wouldn't be possible.
Food pantry does a great job doing all the things that a food pantry does, but it's not in the budget to do these kind of things, and that's what we're here for. But we have to figure out how we make sure that they get out.
That was Mohammed Abdul Kawi reporting. The endowment fund will provide long-term financial support to programs that directly help kids living in food insecure homes, and this includes stocking pantries and giving meals to students for weekends. Coming up, we'll hear why DNA, sweet potato, and the HBO show The Wire led to murder charges. That's after weather with Conrad right here on Newswatch 12.
Uh-oh. Did your holiday hosting create a couple extra stains in your carpet? Or do you just need an update for your old flooring? Come to Carpet City Flooring Center and start your year off right with free carpet installation. That's right, free carpet installation. If money is a little tight, Carpet City Flooring Center can help make your project affordable with interest-free financing. Get your free carpet installation today.
Carpet City, our prices will floor you.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Wausau Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our unique doctor-supervised program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back safely, naturally, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no drugs, no hypnosis or surgery, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
Hi, I'm Janelle. I've lost 70 pounds in 30 inches. I know the secret. I feel great now after losing the 70 pounds. I can do stairs. I don't have pain through the day, through the night. As a breast cancer survivor, I knew I needed to lose the weight to prevent future health issues. I feel great, living each day with hope for my future.
For your free private weight loss consultation, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695. WeKnowTheSecret.com.
Dan Kelly won't keep our community safe. As a lawyer, Kelly defended child sex predators who posed as ministers in order to prey on vulnerable young girls. They lured young children to locations they believed to be safe, only to sexually assault and molest them. And Dan Kelly defended those monsters. Do you want someone like that on the Supreme Court? Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
Happy Monday, folks. All right, so we start out with a little bit of wintry precipitation, quickly changing over to snow here in town. South of us, though, freezing rain. Wausau had around 1/4 of an inch of freezing rain. For us, though, we had mostly snow, around 3.8 inches of snowfall so far. A little bit more will be falling overnight, maybe another trace. So overall, we might end up with around 4 inches of snow before all said and done into those overnight hours tonight. All that heavier snow has moved on out. It is in northern Michigan right now, past our state. There's still some lingering snow showers here in the region, mostly into the UP. For us, though, a couple of flurries and really lighter snow showers as this really strong system has made its way into the Northeast. Now even New York City is going to get on a little bit of snow. Surprise, surprise, their first real good snow of the winter season. Our next storm is in the West Coast right now. California into Portland, same thing into Seattle. They're getting actually a little bit of wintry precipitation, which is pretty rare because most of the time they have temperatures in the 40s over winter time with some rain, but we're actually getting a little bit of snow there. That system's going to continue to move east, and as it does, we're going to get in on a little bit of snow really late Tuesday night into the morning hours on Wednesday and lasting throughout the afternoon hours on Wednesday. We're looking at possibly even several inches of snowfall might be possible. We're looking at maybe 1 to 3 inches overall. That's what the models are starting to trend, and that is exactly what we are thinking. We're looking at 1 to 3 throughout the day on Wednesday. Later into the evening hours on Wednesday, things will finally start to clear up, and then it gets really nice. Starting Thursday, Friday, and then right through the weekend, we're going to have some really warm temperatures, some milder temperatures, I would say, and lots of sunshine. Winds are starting to finally die down right now Here in town, we do have a 6-mile-an-hour sustained wind. Wind gusts closer to 15, so that's not looking too bad. Green Bay is still coming in with winds at around 10 miles an hour, but things are starting to settle down. As the system moves out, we will start to really wind down with the winds. But look what happens on Wednesday as our next low-pressure system moves in. Winds will start to increase once again. This isn't going to be a big snow event. We're looking at a 1 to 3 incher with winds that will be blowing the snow around. Okay, let's talk a little bit about temperatures now. Our average should be around 31 degrees, and we're going to be pretty mild the next week or so. All that mild air made its way up north. Even Chicago had some 50s earlier today when we were having some pretty heavy snow. So the big differences as that low-pressure system made its way across into the east. So our average should be around 31 degrees. Look what happens. Wednesday, we cool down near average. Thursday, a little bit cooler than that. And then we climb the ladder. Then we get into those mid to even upper 30s by the weekend, and then even into beginning of next week when maybe another snow event might be in the region by Monday. Temperatures will be slightly warmer, so we will be in those mid to even upper 30s. Tonight, though, temperatures slightly cooler than what we're at right now. 22 degrees is going to be our low. Decreasing clouds as that snow finally starts to move out. And tomorrow, what a nice day. Wow, 38 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and really mild outside. Our 7-day outlook brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress does show that snow shower event on Wednesday. Then we're really clear Thursday, Friday, Saturday into Sunday, ahead of another low-pressure system moving in by Monday. Dan?
Thanks, Conrad. Researchers are sounding the alarm on a popular artificial sweetener. A study found erythritol can double the chance of a heart attack or stroke. The problem appears to be it causes blood to clot more easily. And you may have never heard of this sweetener because it's not typically used on its own. Instead, erythritol is frequently used to add bulk to stevia, monk fruit, and other sweeteners popular for people eating the keto diet. The study was published in the journal Nature Medicine. Dominion Voting Machines is suing Fox News for defamation after hosts lied to viewers that the 2020 election was stolen. And according to a legal filing from Dominion that was unsealed today, Fox's chairman knew it was happening. Rupert Murdoch acknowledged in a legal deposition that hosts from Fox News promoted the lie that the election was stolen. It adds to mounting evidence that people in charge at the network knew their hosts were sharing election falsehoods, but aired them anyway. Dominion is seeking $1.6 billion in damages. The Supreme Court tomorrow is set to hear arguments on President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness program. The plan, which cancels up to $20,000 of student debt for each borrower who qualifies, has been on hold as it makes its way through the courts. Plaintiffs from 2 cases argue the government doesn't have the authority to cancel loan debt under the proposed rules of the program. But the Biden administration argues that a 2003 law gives them that power in the event of a national emergency, including the COVID-19 pandemic. A man has been charged in Massachusetts for a cold case murder, thanks to DNA and a sweet potato. 40-year-old DeVaris Hampton was charged today, 12 years to the day after Todd Lampley was found shot to death in 2011. The lead that resulted in Hampton's arrest was a phone tied to the name Marlo Stanfield, a fictional character in an HBO series called The Wire. In the show, a sweet potato had been used as a silencer, and investigators had found a sweet potato at the scene of Lampley's murder. Authorities say it had Hampton's DNA on it. Hampton is being held without bail right now. While the playoffs have begun for girls basketball, the first round for boys tips off tomorrow. Coming up on Newswatch 12, Serenity Douglas will break down a busy schedule for local hoops.
Trust him with a car.
Of course we can, Lindsay. With AAA Auto Insurance.
Wait, AAA has auto insurance?
We do home insurance, too.
Switch and save on AAA Auto Insurance and expect something more. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Attract a wide variety of birds with Enchanted Garden Birdseed. Available in many high-quality seed types and blends. A 20-pound bag of sunflower seeds is $14.99 after 11% rebate. Brighten up your home inside and out with recessed lighting. Ultra-thin canless downlights are easily installed without the need for a traditional recessed housing. Get an ultra-thin recessed Sylvania light for just $19.98 after 11% off at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
There are never enough hours in the day. I'm always making trade-offs, sacrifices. But I'll keep going. Even when it feels like there's no way I can do it all. I won't give up. I'm doing this for me and for them. We're doing this together. North Central Technical College's virtual college. Flexible learning, because our time is precious.
Can we really trust him with a car?
Of course we can, Lindsay, with AAA Auto Insurance.
Wait, AAA has auto insurance?
We do home insurance, too.
Switch and save on AAA Auto Insurance and expect something more.
Coming up, we'll be joined by Nurse Christina Paris of the VA for another segment of Nursing the North.
All right, things will start to improve for you Tuesday. Partly cloudy, but more snow on the way as we head towards your Wednesday. We're ready to tune in on a Tuesday from 5 to 7 a.m.
We've been following the girls' hoops through the tournament rounds, and it's almost that time for the boys. The first round, or regional rounds, for boys high school basketball starts tomorrow. Featuring teams in our area like Ashland playing Rhinelander, Mosinee facing off with Lakeland Union, and Antigo against Merrill. The Medford Raiders were given the #1 seed and a bye through the first round as they wait for the winner of New Richmond versus Menominee game. Also, the Northland Pines Eagles were ranked 3rd and were given a first-round bye while they wait for the winner of Wittenberg-Burnhamwood against Wrightstown. The tournament is from Tuesday, February 28th until Saturday, March 11th. Girls basketball sectional semifinal round will start this Thursday. Some teams in our area that are still in the running include Lakeland Union, Wausau West, and Leona Wabeno. New London and Lakeland Union will face off this Thursday at Antigo. Wausau West and Hortonville will play at Spash. And finally, Leona Wabeno will play Sevastopol at Crivets. The sectional final is scheduled for March 2nd. Each winning team will punch their ticket at state championships beginning March 9th. Staying on girls hoops, but specifically for Mosinee freshman Taylin Jersley. Jersley will be finishing her freshman basketball career with 2 school records under her belt. She tied the 2000 to 2001 single-season three-pointers made record of 46 previously held by Tiffany Grabau and broke the single-season most points scored record with 448 total points, which was previously held by Amanda Nuchata at 443 points. Jersley also finished this year as consistently the top scorer each game, averaging a total of 17.9 points. And did I mention that she's only a freshman? Congrats to Taylor Jersley. New ownership is likely coming to the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks co-owner Mark Lazeri has reached an agreement to sell the 25% portion of the Bucks to Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy and Dee Haslam for $875 million. The deal is still pending league approval, but if it were to go through, it would be the second highest valuation ever for an NBA team, and only being surpassed by the $4 billion purchase of the Phoenix Suns that was completed earlier this month. It may not feel like spring yet, but for the Milwaukee Brewers, it's that time of the year. Spring training is in full effect. There's a promise for new season and hope for younger players to make the big league roster. Opening day for spring training games start at February 25th and last until March 28th. Lots of time to keep your eyes on new Brewers prospects. Today they faced off with the Kansas City Royals and won 10-4. They'll face off tomorrow with the Cubs. The top curling club teams in the nation are set to compete in the USA Curling National Club Championships on March 16th through the 19th. Men's and women's teams from all across the country, as far as Alaska, California, and Arizona, have won playoffs in their curling region and qualified for finals. This year, the Wausau Curling Club is set to host and will have an entry in both men's and women's tournaments. For the complete event information, go to wausaucurling.org. More after the break.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
It's Buick Envision. That's a really tight spot. I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
The Buick Envision, built around you, all of you.
Get 3.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on Buick SUV models. Visit your North Central Wisconsin Buick dealer.
The unknown is not empty. It's a storm that crashes and consumes, replacing thought with worry. But one thing can calm uncertainty: an answer. Uncovered through exploration, teamwork, and innovation. An answer that leads to even more answers. Mayo Clinic. You know where to go.
To everyone who believes in tradition, come enjoy a few of ours from Wisconsin.
People in Wisconsin love a good fish fry.
Really love. And we love sharing it with guests everywhere.
At Culver's, we still batter our North Atlantic cod by hand to order.
And we cook it to a crispy, golden perfection just for you.
For you. For you.
So it's crispy outside, flaky inside.
Let us take care of you. With some homegrown traditions we were raised on.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
A World War II veteran was honored with a parade for turning 98. Emerson Pell is in Augusta County, Virginia. Pell served in the U.S. Navy as an aviation machinist, mate 3rd class. Friends, family members, and even the volunteer fire department honored him with a parade at his home. Pell said the most cherished things in his life have been his loving family and his 64-year marriage.
The best blessing I had was meeting my wife when I did. And her people and well, my people too didn't go for it. They didn't like it. They said it wouldn't work, but it did.
In addition to getting a parade, Pell also got his driver's license renewed for 5 years. A Wisconsin man is working to make his neighborhood more accessible by clearing the sidewalks of snow and ice. Ryan Jenkins reports.
A couple days ago, a lady posted that she was hoping people would do a little bit better job of shoveling and that she had fallen down. And I was dismayed to see that some people had actually called her a Karen.
Matt Felton knows all too well how challenging it can be when snow and ice aren't cleaned up after a storm.
Well, it's just frustrating because people just can't relate, I guess. And it's just frustrating when people, are really quick to spout out something when I know for a fact if their situation were to change like mine did, they would be talking a different story.
5 years ago, he said both of his legs were blown off in what he called a freak accident.
I could hop over snowbanks just fine. I would never even think of something like this.
Today, Matt and his service dog Luna worked their way down KK in Bayview.
Luna here, she pulls my wheelchair all over the place.
Cleaning up spots that haven't been touched after the storm this past week.
Maybe people see this and they realize that we're all in the community, we're all in this together. And, there's a lot of people that have the ability to get out there and do stuff like this to help other people out. I'll be going down KK after we're done with this.
And along came the help.
A bunch of people came down and helped, and when I first showed up, people saw me doing it, and they offered to take a shovel and help out too. So people have been very, very responsive. It's been great.
An engaged citizen, not trying to raise a fuss, just raising awareness, hoping more people will do their part to help keep sidewalks accessible for all.
I was once like that too, and I think if people just have more of an understanding of, hey, this could happen to me. So I don't want to get on anybody's case about it. I just want people to want to help.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone in Wisconsin can call, text, or chat to get connected to a trained 988 counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you're concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you.
It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. Get started on your next Ford SUV, like Bronco, Explorer, or the new Escape. Get here to get a deal on the SUV's #1 in brand loyalty. It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. During Auto Show, choose Flex Buy on Escape, Edge, or Explorer with 3.9% APR financing for 66 months plus 1,000 Auto Show cash.
Dan Kelly won't keep our community safe. As a lawyer, Kelly defended child sex predators who posed as ministers in order to prey on vulnerable young girls. They lured young children to locations they believed to be safe, only to sexually assault and molest them. And Dan Kelly defended those monsters. Do you want someone like that on the Supreme Court? Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
I just got the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from US Cellular. With the most powerful processor yet, it can game smoother than ever. With nightography, it can take selfies in low light. Click. And with a longer battery life and US Cellular's 5G network, it can stream my favorite shows around the clock.
Amazing. Can it go back in the back?
Yeah, it can go back into the back.
Okay. Did you just kiss the phone?
The new Samsung Galaxy S23. Free for everyone from US Cellular.
I kissed you? Yes.
You've got this. Whatever it is, you're ready for it. Your newly purchased defenses, top of the line. Your backup, backing up. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So if your new house still has some old tenants, we'll make sure your checking account won't be giving you any surprises. You've got this with Associated Bank.
As one low-pressure system moves out of the area, another one is on the way. By Wednesday, we're going to get a little bit more snow. We're looking at possibly 1 to 3 additional inches. Temperatures were warm in Chicago, 50s earlier today, 30s here, and temperatures will continue to warm up the next couple of days, especially by next week, as temperatures warm back up into the mid to upper 30s.
And by the way, Serenity, we only have a few more months of winter, okay? So just hang in there.
I just doubt it. Every time you think so, Conrad says no.
Well, you're probably right. Yeah, more snow is inevitable. Thanks for joining us on Newswatch 12.
There's no way to count the number of sandwiches you've packed over the years. Hard to imagine this day would come. Yeah, there's still the same fields, the same roads, the same hard work. But now they're in someone else's hands. And you couldn't be more proud of who you're handing the farm to. No matter what the future holds, Ag Country is here to help you plan ahead.
It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. Get started on your next Ford truck, like a next-generation pickup. Get here for a deal on F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 46 years straight. It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. During Auto Show, choose Flex Buy on F-150 with 2.9% APR financing for 66 months, plus 1,000 credit cash and 1,000 Auto Show cash.
Special report. Spectrum just launched Spectrum One, where Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and unlimited mobile come together to keep you seamlessly connected wherever you are!
Switch to Spectrum One and get 300 megabit internet for $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and one free line of unlimited mobile with no contract. Call 1-833-743-4999.
The Coopers here just got Spectrum One. Why did you switch?
With Spectrum One, we get a super fast, reliable connection. Look, with Spectrum Internet, I can stream Spectrum News across all our devices.
And the advanced Wi-Fi has enhanced security and privacy features that automatically block online threats, keeping our family and devices safe and secure.
How reliable is Spectrum Mobile?
It's a super reliable service coast to coast.
And it includes nationwide 5G.
Switch to Spectrum One and get 300 megabit internet for $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and one free line of unlimited mobile with talk, text, and data. Call